Narendra Modi visits Kerala for the inauguration of a highway project. The CPIM and Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan boycott the event over a non-invite to the state's Minister of Public Works. On to our top story first. As we have been reporting over the last few days, a severe LPG shortage has brought the F&B industry across cities like Chennai, Bengaluru and Hyderabad to a near complete standstill. Restaurants have resorted to limited menus and curtailed timings as a result. In Bengaluru, multiple iconic restaurants including the Vidyarthi Bhavan have begun using only a fraction of their dosa tawas, even as restaurant chains like Geetam in Chennai have shut late-night service and cut down on offerings from the menu. Earlier today, my colleague Dharani visited another iconic eatery in Chennai, Crescent, that's now begun stocking up on firewood simply because it cannot get its supply of 5 to 7 LPG cylinders every day. Here's a ground report from Dharani.
We've been reporting continuously about how the disruptions in commercial LPG cylinder supply is affecting many hotels in Chennai. In fact, right now we are standing inside the kitchen of a hotel called Hotel Crescent in Nungambakam area of Chennai. We are given to understand through the owners of this hotel that overnight they've constructed these firewood stoves. So this construction has happened overnight. And the cement is in fact not even properly set, it is just drying. This hotel requires 4 to 5 LPG cylinders every day for normal operations, but because they were not able to secure new LPG cylinders, now they've resorted to this method, and from this afternoon they'll be cooking their food using firewood stoves is what the hotel owners tell us. We're also showing you the visuals from inside the kitchen of this hotel, that is a Hotel Crescent. And if we move towards that side, we can in fact talk to an employee of this hotel and try to understand the ground situation, the kind of impact that the disruptions in commercial LPG cylinders is having on the hotels here in Chennai. He is telling that because they couldn't secure any new LPG gas cylinders, they in fact began constructing that firewood stove around 2 a.m. in the midnight yesterday, and now the construction has just got over. They'll be able to cook in that firewood stove only from tomorrow morning. And in fact, he's also telling that this hotel requires 4 to 5 LPG cylinders on a regular day for cooking, and on peak days they'll be requiring 5 to 7 LPG cylinders, but now they don't even have a single cylinder. These 0 cylinders is what they have. In fact, here we're showing you visuals of the wood that they've brought in to cook using the firewood stoves inside. So the situation is quite similar in many small restaurants across Chennai city, and let's wait and see how in the coming days these restaurants are able to cope up with the new changes that they are being forced to incorporate.
Well, even as the LPG crisis may be gripping restaurants across most parts of the country, including cities like Chennai and Bengaluru, a number of these restaurants are taking contingency measures. Now, while some of them have begun stocking up on firewood in order to offset that regular supply of 5 to 7 cylinders per day that they're not getting now, many others have resorted to using large-scale industrial induction stoves. And as a result, what you are seeing is that for many restaurants, much like the one I'm coming to you from, it's pretty much business as usual, with most tables, most covers actually filled in with regular breakfast, lunch, a snack and dinner service going about like it's just another day. And all of this thanks largely to the use of industrial induction stoves that have quite literally kept kitchen fires burning and business running. Now, what this essentially has meant is that while smaller restaurants have begun shutting shop owing to a massive shortfall in LPG supplies, some of the bigger ones like the Namavida Vasanta Bhavan, part of the Vasanta Bhavan chain of restaurants right here in Chennai, have resorted to using induction stoves that have helped these restaurants cope. Now, even as this is being done, the fact remains that the Chennai Hotels Association is meeting with Chief Minister M.K. Stalin today to iron out some of these issues that have persisted with LPG supplies. In fact, the Chief Minister, in a letter to the union, has asked the government to free up LPG supplies for both domestic and industrial use so as to ensure that homes have gas, as do businesses that rely on the gas itself. But for the moment, given the fact that some hotels are resorting to firewood while some others are resorting to induction stoves, it's business as usual, even as parotas and vadas are all set to continue without much of an interruption for these restaurants that have resorted to such backup measures. Meanwhile, Congress workers in Karnataka's Mandya district staged protests against the recent hike in LPG cylinder prices, accusing the union government of burdening households with rising fuel costs. Party leaders, along with members of the Mahila Congress, gathered in Mandya, raising slogans to highlight the impact of the price increase on middle-class families and women. Protesters demanded that the centre roll back the LPG price hike immediately, arguing that cooking gas has become increasingly unaffordable for many households. Congress leaders also warned that agitations could intensify across Karnataka if the government does not reconsider its price hike. Staying with more news from the energy space, it isn't even summer yet, and Andhra Pradesh has already recorded its highest ever power consumption since the state was bifurcated in 2014. On Sunday, the state's power grid touched 274.6 million units of power demand and a peak load of 14,011 megawatts. The surge comes even before peak summer, with officials expecting daily demand to rise further to around 280 million units by May. Now, state energy officials say demand has jumped sharply over the past few weeks, driven by higher domestic usage, agriculture and industrial activity. So far this year, Andhra Pradesh has already recorded an average daily demand of about 264.65 million units, a growth of over 9% when compared to last year. So with summer demand expected to intensify, the Andhra Pradesh government has asked power utilities to step up procurement from power exchanges, maximize generation from thermal and renewable resources, and closely monitor grid stability to ensure uninterrupted supply. Shifting focus from energy to mobility next, ride-hailing and mobility platform Uber has announced an integration of intercity bus ticketing services on its app. The platform will roll out the service in partnership with Abhibus as part of its efforts to bridge the intercity mobility gap. For Uber, India also becomes the first market with the service. In an exclusive chat with ET Now, the platform's Chief Technology Officer Praveen Nepali Naga told me that Uber would look to roll out the service built in Bengaluru and Hyderabad across markets like Latin America and Europe. He also added that Uber is actively looking to expand its tech teams in both Bengaluru as well as Hyderabad. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Ever since Uber started, we always had tech presence in India. And in general, you'll see a lot of companies doing some back office stuff and so forth. But Uber is such a unique product that we actually can have our engineers and techies build the product for India. So we try to keep it that core stuff that can be built here. We have our tech centers in Bangalore and Hyderabad, about 2,500 people.
Right.
Like it's a pretty big presence. So it shows our commitment to it. And we felt like these products that are being launched in India, if the Indian tech community builds it, there's much more heart to it, right? They can feel it, they can use it, and that's what we decided. We intercity cabs. That's what the team here builds, and we thought it's a natural evolution for bus to be built here too.
And the team of 2,500. I'm also told that there's some expansion plans, more headcount to be added as well as the years roll by and products get built here. What's the vision on that front? How many more techies in these cities will you be adding, and what is that headcount expansion looking like?
Yeah, look, in this whole AI world, when others are reducing their headcount, we are actually putting headcount, which tells you how much work is left for us to do. You often say as a CTO that eventually ideas have to be the bottleneck. Right? We're not there. We have so much work to do every time we go into planning. We are not able to get to those ideas because of constraints in resourcing and so forth. Right? So we are going to hire more this year. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but we have very grand plans, both in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Of course, then the other thing is the teams here not just works on products, right? They work on core infrastructure that powers Uber tech, the entire tech as such.
So when you go about adding headcount, of course, the numbers are yet to be arrived at, I would assume. Which areas will you be hiring in so as to increase this headcount? Like you said, in an AI era, are there specific sectors or specific disciplines that you're looking to hire in a lot more?
In the engineering world, we're hiring for core infrastructure, people who know core databases, compute, and then platforms, distributed systems platforms, people who are building products, application layers, mobile. AI is a fabric now, right? I think every engineer will have to learn to use. Now, it used to be like there used to be AI engineers. That's gone. Now every engineer has to have AI as a skill set to leverage. So that's pretty much what it is.
And even as we speak about building itself, Praveen, there's been so much in the recent past about Uber adding on to its base product, which of course was a cab aggregator app. Is it official now? Can Uber be called, a super app built for mobility? Have you come to a time and place where that tag is perhaps only natural and perhaps even an understatement?
Well, as our CEO says this grandly, right? As our mission is go anywhere and get anything. By the mission statement itself, you know that we want to be involved in anything that moves. So it's natural for us to be the super app where any consumer is able to come to our app and do everything that's related to it.
Right.
Now, it's not easy, right? It's unnatural. If you do something unnaturally, then it won't work. So we take step by step. And every country is unique, by the way. And we got to understand the nuances of the needs of the country and then give that access to it. And it's a step towards that direction. Yes, it's a super app and anything that people can do. Anywhere they want to go, they can come to Uber app.
But even as you trace out this path towards being a super app, I'd like to ask you a little bit about competition. Even as we speak, locally run platforms in mobility have also taken form and shape. For instance, Namayatri being one example right here in Bengaluru itself, with the business model that's built on, commissions for that matter, also taking form and shape, becoming a competitor and vying for the same slice of that pie. Is there a tech differentiator really that sets Uber apart that you will be looking to leverage in order to stay ahead of these other names that are also vying for a slice of the mobility pie?
Well, first of all, competition is nothing new for Uber, right? Every market we operate in, there's always a competitor, which is actually good, right? Because it allows, they push you, they're also innovating, which allows us also to start be on the edge and actually get the innovation going. We learn from them too, right? It advances the entire industry in first place. Second is, our tech differentiator is we have a single tech built for the world that works locally. So we have perfected this art over a decade as such. Now, as much as I say that we build in India and scale globally, there are lot of features that we actually build in for other countries that applies here. Simple examples like safety. In Brazil, safety is one of the biggest concerns, and we have tech teams built some safety tech solutions to track your status of where you're going and so forth, right? Quickly, we realized that's so useful that we can launch globally. Right? Things like that's our tech moat, I would say, right? We are able to bring tech that's built into India as well. So, and we'll do the opposite too.
And absolutely. And speaking of tech itself, Uber has mentioned ad nauseum in the past about expanding its EV fleet in India, getting more EVs on the road with regard to mobility and cab rides as well. But even as we speak, some big challenges continue to remain. First, of course, being the upfront cost when it comes to purchases of EVs, multiple drivers, and I'm assuming driver partners would have also spoken about the charging infrastructure and how that has been a bit of a hill to get around insofar as running an EV cab or mobility service is concerned. How challenging are these bottlenecks, I would assume, to the Uber story with regard to scaling up EVs itself? And how do you go about working to solve these problems?
First of all, any new tech that comes will always have challenges of scaling. Right? This is natural. The infrastructure has to be built out, and then how you charge, and all these things will eventually be resolved. Right? What we need to do is, by the way, which is why we work with several fleet partners who are able to help their drivers and so forth. Right? What we are interested in making sure we build the tech that is available that will help the drivers in a seamless way. Let's say they come onto our platform with an EV. You can think of EVs are good for longer hauls, to start with, or shorter trips, how much charging info they have, and ingesting that into our matching algorithms to help them match based on that. That simple thing helps them out, right? Instead, imagine a driver looking at a trip and I have a charge of like 50 kilometers, but this trip is 40 kilometers. That's pretty risky. Then they have to make decisions, and that's so inconvenient for the driver and the rider and so forth. But we just take that hassle out by building the tech that helps them as such. So we want to get the tech in place and then work with the government and work with these fleet partners so slowly. 10 years from now, I think, hopefully, all these problems will be solved, but the tech is there to enable them.
We look forward to that then. I want to speak to you a little bit about AI itself. So much decision-making in the aggregation business, of course, is to do with pricing, availability, demand and supply as well. Over time, since you began in India, I would assume around over a decade ago now, how much of this has changed and become more AI-driven? How much of a role has AI grown to evolve and play in terms of pricing, in terms of availability, in terms of supply itself? How is AI making everyday differences to cab aggregation and, of course, pricing, which remains contentious topics on a day-to-day basis when it comes to Uber rides?
So AI is a little overloaded word in general, right? So AI is nothing new to Uber. In like our core marketplace algorithms have been built with smaller models, be it pricing and matching and so forth, all over the years. So now the change that has happened is larger models, like LLMs have come in, right? So these things are even helping getting more context, personalized context, and actually being able to make better matching and pricing decisions, right? Routing decisions as such. So that's our secret sauce, and we've been at it for a very long time. So, but the other changes that we are able to bring this AI is, if you take our rider, right? What AI can help in a rider experiences, and how AI can driver experiences. For example, when a driver onboards, we want to get the driver onboarding done as fast as we can in a safe manner. Now, AI is able to help with doc transcriptions and getting those things, background checks done very fast, and then get them on the road, right? Now, when a new driver comes on the road, the biggest problem for the driver is learning where to go and maximizing the earnings. We build features like Copilot that actually works, the agent works with the driver to tell them go to the right places and increase the earnings as such, right? So these are the kind of native AI experiences. The best AI experiences are the ones that the consumer doesn't even know it's AI. Right, that's the best experiences. Like, anyways, we have huge investments in this space.
And LLMs, of course, making a huge change itself. So on that note, is AI all set to disrupt the mobility platform business all the world over further? And how do you see the disruption happening going forward?
I mean, we always go to the end of the world topic.
We tend to do that all the time with AI, don't we?
It's pretty common, but it's a huge opportunity. Right. This technology used in the right way will actually create more jobs, like more opportunities as such. I already see that happening as such. Mobility space will have a huge, in AVs, AVs are one of them. Like AI and AV are now the big models that are coming in, and it's actually helping the technology to be democratized as such, right? So we work with several partners, and AI is the reason why it's scaling faster.
Absolutely. And you speak about AVs and autonomous vehicles, and I can't quite help but ask you, the conversation has been happening for quite a while now about autonomous vehicles, the role that they will play. Multiple aspects of it, including safety, regulation, have been discussed ad nauseum. But the question I have for you, Praveen, cards on the table, when do we see the onset of a regular autonomous vehicle being used for an Uber ride? I'm not just talking about India, but all the world over. Do you see a near to medium-term future where this actually happens, and when do you see it happening?
Well, it is now. It's already
but being happening. Mainstream, because it still is a bit of a novelty as we speak.
If you come to US and you go to Austin and Atlanta, it is mainstream. It's already happening. You can hail...
Fully autonomous?
Fully autonomous.
I was in Austin last year, and the semi-autonomous aspect of AVs were, of course, mainstream.
That's fully autonomous, and you'll be able to hail a fully autonomous car in Austin and Atlanta with Waymo. And if you go to Abu Dhabi now, we have fully autonomous cars running also with WeRide. We have several plans with our partners.
Moving on to some M&A action next, Bengaluru-based fertility services chain Nova IVF has picked up a majority stake in Kerala's Craft Hospitals. The deal has reportedly valued the fertility center at about $40 million or roughly 368 crore rupees. The transaction also marks Nova IVF's strategic entry into the Kerala market, where it is expected to strengthen its footprint across South India. Now, Kraft Hospitals is known to be among Kerala's more well-known fertility service providers, with a strong clinical legacy in assisted reproductive treatments. Investment banking firm Advai Capital advised the promoters on the strategic sale of their IVF business. And for Nova IVF, which is headquartered in Bengaluru and backed by Asia Healthcare Holdings and private equity firm TPG, the acquisition fills a key gap in its network, as the company previously had only one center in Kerala, located in Palakkad. The deal also comes amid rising investor interest in Kerala's healthcare sector, with over $700 million flowing into hospitals, clinics, and medical device companies in the state over the past 2 years. Now, investors here are also looking to build healthcare platforms across South India from the state of Kerala. Meanwhile, staying with Kerala, a political flashpoint has erupted in the state after Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and his cabinet colleagues boycotted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official event in Kochi, setting the stage for a fresh confrontation between the CPIM-led state government and the BJP in the centre. Now, the Prime Minister was in Kochi to inaugurate infrastructure projects worth around 10,800 crore rupees, including key national highway expansion plans in the state. However, the Kerala government decided to stay away from the event simply because the state's Public Works Minister, Mohammad Riaz, was excluded from the official event despite the project being linked to his department. The row has triggered a sharp political exchange between the CPIM and the BJP, with tensions escalating as Kerala head towards assembly elections. Meanwhile, Tamil actor Ajit Kumar has returned safe and sound to Chennai after being stranded in Dubai for several days as tensions linked to the Israel-Iran conflict continue to escalate. Now, the actor, who is an avid motorsport racer, had travelled to the UAE for motorsport-related training but was unable to leave after sudden airspace restrictions and flight cancellations triggered by the regional crisis. Videos circulating on social media show Ajit arriving in the Chennai airport, where he quietly exited the terminal without interacting with fans or the media. And with that, we've reached the end of today's bulletin. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow with more news and updates from South India. For the moment, it's goodbye from us.